Welcome to the mother relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. A lengthy comment, a lengthy read from a guy who goes by the name JJsavior, a disgruntled listener. A guy who said, I stopped listening to this channel a while ago. I only tune in now and then for the big fights like Fury versus Usyk. You guys probably don't realize it.
I don't.
But one of the reasons I stopped listening is because every time I tune in, you guys have got something to say about race. For a group of people who think it's not important, you spend an awful lot of time talking about it. And I know I'm correct because I only randomly tune in, and when I do, sure enough, you guys have some type of racial situation going on. After listening to this conversation, it's also clear the only racism you guys seem to think doesn't exist
Who said racism doesn't exist?
is racism against blacks.
Oh, so you missed all those videos where I lambasted both Ryan Garcia and Teofimo Lopez for their bigoted statements. Go on.
Yeah, you guys will now talk around the subject in circular arguments in an attempt at denial. But facts are facts. Your programming is racially charged. No matter how much you deny it, it's recorded. Just randomly listen to your own stuff and you will see it. If you are being honest, I was about to call out your attacks on black athletes like Clarissa Shields as well, and lo and behold, surprise, surprise, you literally start an attack on her while I'm typing.
Gee, I wonder if he wrote any paragraphs in defense of Teofimo Lopez for all the times I attacked him.
Literally proving my point, as she wasn't even the topic of discussion. Look, man, attacking easy vocal targets like Shields is low-hanging fruit, kind of like attacking rap music.
That's what set him off.
Yeah, we all know it's misogynistic, but that's just an easy target that everyone will agree on.
Except that everybody doesn't.
So stop with these skin politics, and Usyk has 23 fights. Clarissa has 15. Quality notwithstanding.
Not sure why he's comparing Alexander Usyk to Clarissa Shields, but unless Alexander Usyk runs around calling himself the greatest of all times, like Clarissa calls herself the greatest woman of all times, I don't see what the parallel here is.
Stating the obvious, Usyk doesn't do that, but Clarissa Shields does. So when she does, I myself and anybody else is entitled to their opinion. What you want me to do is pull punches.
Why would I do that? I don't do it for anybody else.
No, you won't see JJsavior writing any paragraphs about all the times I've attacked David Benavidez, Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia. He won't write any outraged paragraphs about that.
And to be blunt, none of them are the same race as Clarissa because it's almost like I was criticizing them for some other reason, not particular to race.
When I've criticized Ben Shalom, a white man, well, I don't see JJ writing any paragraphs about that, or all the times I've criticized Tyson Fury the last 3 or 4 years. I don't see him mentioned.
Another white man.
He doesn't write any lengthy paragraphs or make any bold statements when I'm criticizing them, but he does when it's Clarissa. Why?
Why?
Is she supposed to be off limits?
This is not about equality.
As the criticism you hear on this channel is dispensed evenly across several individuals that represent several different groups, ethnic and racial. The criticisms themselves are not motivated by the individual's race so much as the content of their character or the lack thereof. But you've got it in your head that I'm supposed to pull punches on Clarissa.
See, when I criticize Oscar De La Hoya and William Zepeda, that doesn't bother you.
But if I criticize Clarissa, that does. You are simply projecting your inadequacies onto me and your lack of character, since I criticize all these individuals evenly, in spite of their differences.
Equally.
You're not after equality. You're after special treatment, which, in case you haven't noticed, I don't give anybody.
What you're arguing in favor of is special treatment, exception, and exemption depending on who's being criticized.
Which has never been the decorum here. That anyone from Samson Lukowicz to Ben Shalom to Al Heyman can be subject to criticism, but you're only going to draw the line at Al.
I can criticize Oscar De La Hoya and call him a cokehead till I'm blue in the face, but you won't complain about that.
It's at Al Heyman and Clarissa Shields that you draw the line. But what do they have in common?
That they don't have in common with all the other people I criticize on a regular basis.
You can't even address the criticisms because they're valid criticisms.
You're trying to hide behind another argument.
And what you're looking for for is special treatment. But I'm not your mother.
I don't think you're special.
And I don't think those aforementioned individuals I criticize are so special either, that they should be exempted from criticism on the premise of where they're from or what they look like, since that's not why they're being criticized anyway.
What actually motivates those critiques is discussed and divulged in 5 and 7 minute segments.
All of which seem to go over your head because all you see is color.
You can't even stick to the subject.
Because you're projecting. You're literally doing what you're accusing me of, projecting your inadequacies onto me. And we are not the same. I'm not a hypocrite like you, and I'm not looking for anybody to pat me on the head and be nice to me. Handle me with kid gloves on because of how sensitive I am.
That's you.
Approaching any and every subject like you're walking on eggshells as to not offend me. You clearly don't have a problem with my critiques, my criticisms for other individuals of different denominations, but this is where you want to draw the line because it's special treatment you're looking for.
Do you want a cookie?
Even worse is that you don't have to keep listening or announce your departure.
I'm leaving!
Don't come back. There's no shortage of boxing channels that cover the sport of boxing in the YTBC. Bigger and older channels than this one. Try one of them.
Maybe one of them will be better for you.
See if I care, since before you left me this lengthy statement, I actually didn't notice you.
You left me this lengthy statement in order to get noticed.
Because you thought you were saying something.
Debunk!
What you're saying would only make sense if Clarissa and other fighters like her were the only ones I criticized. But I criticize so many different people from so many different places
For reasons that are clear.
and discussed that all you're putting on display is your own cognitive dissonance.
He's crashing out.
Because you've got it in your head that whatever you have in common with a fighter is supposed to make them above criticism.
So, right when I criticize Sam Goodman,
But Clarissa's supposed to be off limits? Why is that?
Wilder,
Why is that? You probably won't get this message because according to you, you're leaving.
so go be a hypocrite by yourself.
That's all you are. You're not the beacon of truth or fairness you make yourself out to be. You're just an entitled hypocrite looking for special treatment, angry that you can't get it.
You want I should handle you with kid gloves on?
Child-proof the house? Strap you into your booster seat?
You want some McDonald's on the way home?
Discuss various subjects ranging from the sport of boxing to music to movies and politics, all during a live stream, and you're trying to gatekeep what it's all right for us to discuss.
Who died and made you king?
You never had to come here and view any of the content that I upload. Quite honestly, it takes some effort to get here, or you must be regularly notified because you keep coming here, and you admitted that yourself.
And underneath it all, the reason you keep coming here is because you know I'm right.
What I say would be of very little significance if I were wrong.
What I think.
This is not the battle for equality, equal and fair treatment. You're just looking for preferential treatment, the kind that you display, you exhibit.
Because you're a hypocrite.
Another guy throwing stones in a glass house. So try not to cut yourself on the way out.
These people and their double standards. If not for double standards, they'd have no standards at all.
Turki Al-Sheikh said that he would like to see David Benavidez move up and face the winner of your guys' fight. What do you make of David?
Yeah, it's possible to fight against anybody in our division. Of course it's possible, yeah. Why not? But first, I want a rematch.
You what?
I want a rematch, of course.
And I know everyone probably keeps asking you about Canelo, but is there still a chance possibly to have that fight again, that rematch?
Maybe. It's not in my head now, to be honest. I'm not thinking about it. Is it possible or not? Because you should understand that I'm busy with another thoughts.
There's no real reason that the winner of Benavidez versus Morel shouldn't be able to move right into a fight with the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol. There isn't. Because we've already seen a good number of PBC fighters fight on Riyadh season shows. We saw Rayo Valenzuela, we saw Isaac Cruz. Very soon we're going to see Carlos Adames.
He's on the one in February.
So you can't make this about sides of the street and what side of the street it should be on. You can't make this about profile or money because even if Artur doesn't have the biggest profile, or Dimitri doesn't have the biggest profile, if nothing else, you know there's big money attached. you know there's legacy.
The best money in boxing right now.
Remember that Dmitry Bivol is the guy that outboxed Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing in this country. Yeah, Dmitry is the last guy that beat him, and Artur is the guy that beat him. So what are we going to do, pretend that nobody knows these people?
They know who they are.
You know what kind of backing they have. They both have. What kind of money is behind them. And you also know that Turkey El Sheikh personally told David Benavidez he would hold off on scheduling a rematch between Artur and Dmitry if he wanted to move into that fight right away. Now, he decided to fight David Morrell.
That's fine.
The fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell got made and got announced before the rematch between Artur and Dmitry. All I'm saying is, afterwards...
You know that they're fighting the same month. First Benavidez versus Morrell, then Beterbiev versus Bivol in February. They're on the same schedule, so there's no reason they shouldn't fight.
It's just like Dmitry Bivol said. Any fight is possible. Every fight is possible in the light heavyweight division because David Benavidez is not raking in so much dough here in America, selling so many pay-per-views that he should be above boxing at Riyadh season.
And if you don't fight the winner of this fight, who are you gonna fight at light heavyweight?
Or are you going to go back to moaning about Canelo Alvarez and doing interviews and podcasts all about Canelo Alvarez? That at the end of the day, the winner of one fight should be able to move seamlessly into the other because everything is there. The profile, the money, and the belts.
It's for undisputed.
You were at 168. You said you wanted to fight Canelo Alvarez for undisputed. You didn't get that, but you can get this.
Do you want it?
I don't think he does. Quite honestly, the only way the winner of Benavidez versus Morrell fights the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol, in my opinion, is if the winner is David Morrell, because I just can't see David Benavidez fighting the winner of that fight.
I don't think he wants it, nor his longtime handler, Simpson Lukowicz. They want safe money.
Is David Morrell a safe fight?
Well, it's safer than fighting Artur Beterbiev. It's safer than fighting Dmitry Bivol.
What are we gonna do now? Pretend that David Morrell has proven as much as those fighters, that he is now where those fighters are?
It's a good fight.
I'm not saying Benavidez versus Morrell isn't a good fight. It's a good fight, though grossly overpriced.
David Morrell is a good fighter, just not on the level of Dmitry Bivol. No, not on the level of Artur Beterbiev.
Ask yourself a question. If David Benavidez beats David Morrell, do you in your heart of hearts think he's going to challenge the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol?
What does your gut tell you?
Your instincts. Do you wholeheartedly believe that David Benavidez will challenge the winner of that fight?
I ain't gonna beat around the bush. I don't.
I can't think of a good reason for him not to, because everything is there. And the path. It's right there. But you don't spend a decade in the same division without having unified a title
Having been a champion there 2 times.
because you're all about legacy or you're all about taking risks. No.
Dmitry was right. Any fight at light heavyweight can happen. Every fight. If the guys want it to happen.
Do you think David Benavidez's team want this to happen? Takes 2 guys to make a fight, 2 teams, but it only takes 1 to screw it up.
Just 1.
Added pressure for them ahead of the Benavidez versus Morrell fight. If you win that one, you ain't out of the woods yet.
There's bigger fish to fry.
Are you coming to dinner?
Frank, tell me your honest initial reaction to that.
My honest reaction is I thought Tyson won the fight, and I don't understand for one moment how one of the judges didn't give him 1 round from 6 onwards. So it's only 7 rounds he never gave him a round, and the other 2 judges only gave him 1 round from round 6 to the 12, which is out of 7 rounds. It's nuts.
Do you think there was a point and place where it went wrong?
No, I thought Tyson won it. I mean, what went wrong was the judging scoring. I'm biased, obviously. I'm in the Tyson Fury camp, but I'm not stupid, and I just don't see how anyone that fight that Alexander Usyk won all the rounds for all the last 7 rounds of the fight. It's impossible.
What is next for Fury after this?
Well, he's going to go home. He's been away from his family now for over 3 months. Christmas and spend some time with him, and he's got all the time in the world to make a decision what he chooses to do with the rest of his life.
Well, the Fury that I saw certainly doesn't need to pack it in, and I said as much over the weekend. He's still got it. But as far as the scoring, I think it was Stephen Kimothy, veteran boxing scribe Steve Kim, friend of the channel, that said it best. For the record, I had it 117-111 Usyk while doing the ring watch-along with Dougie Fisher on Saturday. All the promoters who had Fury winning, well, let's just say they had a vested interest in him winning. The winner was clear in my view.
You know, that's how the artificial intelligence had it too. Is the artificial intelligence biased?
Maybe you could make that argument about me, since you guys know I'm not a big fan of Tyson Fury, but it looked like a 9-3 fight to me. 9-3 kind of fight. 8-4 if you're generous, which I'm not.
People are struggling to conjure how Tyson Fury could have lost it by that much, even though it did seem competitive in spots, and the fight being competitive.
The rounds.
What's happening within them might seem competitive within the round.
But who's piling up more rounds? I think it was quite clearly Alexander Usyk!
Crawford.
Scoring patterns are the issue. That you're going into a fight with an expectation that Fury will get a certain level of consideration that you are used to seeing him get, irrespective of the fight that's in front of you. Kind of like how the Otto Valine fight should have been stopped.
Stopped on cuts.
I've seen fights stopped for less. When he was getting ragdolled in the 9th round of the first Usyk fight, I've seen fights stopped for less than that.
Much less.
So when you go into another Fury fight, you're expecting that same level of consideration. I can't even blame you.
I blame inconsistencies among judges.
Without the prerequisites and the expectations, though. If I'm just scoring the fight that's in front of me, the one that I saw, that looked like a 9-3 fight.
8-4 if I'm generous, and 8-4 leaving room for a margin of error.
Maybe I'm off by a round. That is still giving Tyson Fury every possible consideration. And that's what people were expecting, but that's not what they got at Riyadh season.
To where Eddie Hearns' nationalism and vested interest as a promoter, as well as Frank Warren's, their partiality.
Because that's what it is.
It wasn't a close fight, even though it was competitive in spots, and it certainly wasn't a draw.
You know, I see some people coming up with that one, piping up with that at most it was a draw. No, it wasn't.
No.
Stripping away all the filters and rose-tinted lenses, my point of reference for a round and who's winning it is who's landing more punches. That's what it's all centered around, and that's the crux of it. That you can't be winning if you're getting hit more.
That's whether you're the one coming forward or the one moving backwards on the defensive. If you're getting hit more,
doesn't matter which way you're moving because you're getting hit more. So how could you be winning the round by taking more damage?
Can't you see?
More so if you're the one backpedaling and the guy coming forward is pushing you back and hitting you more. That was Usyk this weekend.
Otherwise, what the hell are you scoring?
What do you think you're seeing? In this boxing landscape, so often the boxing judges pull a fast one on the fans.
Partiality due to promotion, the level of consideration a fighter gets. Of course it all matters, and it differs from fight to fight.
This weekend's fight, that fight? Oh yeah, Usyk won that one. He won it clear.
That wasn't actually hard to score.